Okay, I'm sliding up because I cannot see. I hope you guys can see us.
We're making it work today, so it is what it is now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Chit Chat Chew Show podcast. I am one of the co-hosts, Aisha, also known as Jade, and the other co-host is.
Uno, the other co-host for the Chit Chat Chew Show podcast. We're gonna have a great show tonight.
Yeah, I guess I'm not feeling this, but okay.
I'm not talking about the lighting. I'm talking
I,
about the topics.
we're gonna have great topics. I'm just not feeling the top. I'm just not feeling this lighting right now. What's going on? But I'm going to try my best not to show that expression on here this evening. Again, welcome to Chit Chat Chew Show podcast, which is held weekly on Mondays from 7 to 9, typically 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully, we can get some guys on this evening, but we're going to have a great show. I'm a little off because I was expecting to read what was supposed to be there, but anywho, we're going to be talking about
Pop up.
what's the topic? Okay, so March is Women's International Awareness Month. So we're going to be talking about several um, women in different capacities that are going to be focused. I'm going to be it's going to be a conversation on Jenny Wilson, who is a Salt Lake City. Thank you, Salt Lake City County Mayor Jenny Wilson. We're going to be speaking about 5 Latino women, speaking about Native American women, as well as Septima Clark. Okay, so those are the 4 individuals that we're going to be speaking about.
So before you start, the thing is, okay, now I thought I put this in the caption, but apparently it didn't pop up. So if you don't see it, you have to excuse us. This laptop is tripping right now. But continue.
Okay, so the one person, all we ask is that if you do come on live, just say hey and let us know where you're at, what state you're at, what city and state you're at. I see that one person has joined us live. We appreciate you, whoever you are. Thank you in advance. So let's just kind of jump into it. If you see me moving my hands, I'm really all about light because I feel like I'm very much in the dark.
So let's try to
Very much in the dark here. Let's see.
You gonna freelance this one.
Okay. Hi. How are you? How do you say your name? Yesenia, Natalie, ATL, Georgia. Very nice that you have joined us. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We hope that you enjoy our conversation on Women's International Awareness Month, because truly women of all diversities, color, shape, sizes, age, and things of that nature. We truly have done some really powerful things. Women are definitely taking over in different areas of their titles or positions. So we just want to be able to pay much respect to that. So again, we thank you. You're from ATL, Georgia. Okay,
hey, ATL
that's
Georgia.
What's up.
That's what's up. Oh. Hey, representing Atlanta. Yes, about time somebody representing Atlanta. Yes.
Oh my God, get over it. No, psych. I'm only playing. Absolutely. I'm not a Georgia girl. I reside here, but definitely that thumbs up. If you can see me, thumbs up. And I'm glad that I came close to your name. I thank you so much, because I don't like when I try my best to, pronounce people's names right, because I want people to do that same to me too. If you have a nickname, if I get your name messed up, you could just put it in the comment box. Okay, so let's get started. And thank you. If you have not liked our page, please go to our page, Chit Chat Chew Show, LLC, and like it, and make sure that you stay in the know. We hope that you come back. We are a very diverse podcast. We talk about everything. I just want to put that out there. So, what I want to speak about first is coming from the Salt Lake Tribune. The Salt Lake Tribune. And the caption reads, Jenny Wilson takes the oath of office as new Salt Lake County mayor. Jenny Wilson, say her name, Jenny Wilson. She is the new Salt Lake County mayor. Okay, all right. So the Salt Lake County Mayor, Jenny Wilson, took the oath of office Tuesday during a packed ceremony at the Salt Lake County Government Center. Congratulations to Jenny Wilson. Wilson, who was appointed to the seat at a special election on Saturday, will serve through 2020 as the first Democratic woman elected to that seat, and says her past experience working on the county council will help her hit the ground running. The 10 years serving at large will be an incredible benefit to me, she said after the ceremony. I met yesterday with my senior team and I felt very comfortable making quick decisions as I was already aware of the council's perspective on the various issues they presented me. Representative Ben McAdams, who's also a Democrat for Utah, vacated the county mayor seat on January the 2nd to serve in Congress, prompting a series of moves under state law that triggered a 30-day timeline for the Salt Lake County Democratic Party to choose a replacement. Wilson, who ran for the U.S. Senate last year but lost the bid to Republican Mitt Romney in 2004, became the first woman elected to the county council. She served for 6 years before successfully running again as an at-large member in 2014. I expect that Mayor Wilson's former role as a county council member will help facilitate some great collaborations between the council and the mayor, said Republican Salt Lake County Councilwoman Amy Winder Newton. I think we'll all be working hand in glove towards making the county the best that it can be, and I think she'll be a great mayor. During her speech, Wilson took the opportunity to thank her family, campaign workers, and friends for their support during her near constant campaigning over the past few years, as well as to recognize county workers and past administrations for their work. I'm humbled to now move forward toward implementing my own vision for this county, Wilson said during her remarks. And this vision is formed not only through spreadsheets and data, but through the conversations I've had with countless people on their doorsteps. For the rest of her first week as mayor, Wilson said she plans to be on Capitol Hill advocating for implementations, of Medicaid expansion on Wednesday and in planning meetings on Thursday. Friday is repaint the orange wall in the new office, she said jokingly, referencing McAdams' signature campaign color. Wilson also said she plans to work on addressing the opioid crisis, air quality, domestic violence, and affordable housing. Richard Snellgrove, the council's new chairman, said that while there are bound to be some disagreements between Wilson and the council's Republican majority, the issues the new mayor intends to tackle are bipartisan. Quality of life issues at the local level don't have a party label, he said. A number of local and county leaders attended the ceremony in the council chambers Tuesday, including Salt Lake County District Attorneys Sim Gill, Sheriff Rosie Rivera, Recorder Rochelle Hobbs, and Salt Lake City Mayor Jackie Biskupski. This is a historic moment where two female leaders are running the largest governmental entities in the state besides the governor. The Salt Lake Tribune on Tuesday says the Salt Lake Tribune on Tuesday, okay? And that's a unique opportunity for us to show how female leadership can evolve in a community. While women made gains in the 2018 election, earning a historic high in the number of seats they hold in the state legislature, female representation is still lower in Utah than the national average on state and municipal levels. So as of 2017, female mayors served just 12 of 65 cities across the Wasatch Front, and women held a total 27% of all council or mayoral seats in the region. Filling the mayoral vacancies has left another hole for the Salt Lake County's Democratic Party to fill. The party's central committee will now go through the same process it did to appoint Wilson to fill her vacated at-large county seat. Excuse me, felt like I wanted to sneeze. After the council sends formal notification of the vacancy Tuesday, the party will have 30 days to make a nomination. Already candidates are forming a line to fill that seat. First to announce is former Salt Lake County Council District 5 candidate Pamela Berry, who confirmed to the Tribune on Tuesday that she will be seeking appointment to the at-large position. Berry, who was a single mother for 10 years and said she knows what it's like to struggle putting food on the table, credited her experience hearing people's stories during the campaign while prompting her to run for the open seat. She says, I live where a lot of the decisions of our county are being made in terms of the structure and growth. And these residents and I feel them and I understand them, that they feel like they're not being listened to, that their concerns are not being addressed. And I want to be that voice. I want to help with the long term and the bigger picture of things that are coming out here in the West Side. Wilson said Tuesday she would like to see someone with diversity and vision fill the seat. I love women stepping up and continuing to serve. As the first woman elected on the Salt Lake County Council, it means a lot to me. So again, I applaud Jenny Wilson. I hope that she steps up. I hope that she listens, and I hope that she puts things into effect as best as she can, because a lot of times we tend to globally think that these people in these political positions can solve all. And really, to me, they can't. They can do something. They can do something, but it's up to us wherever you live as a community and a people. So you also have to step in and do for your community and neighborhoods.
No politician can do everything. That's not realistic. You have to be, in a realistic sense, knowing their capability far as what can they provide politically. So yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, they can do some things, but they can't do everything. So now it's not just up to them, it's also up to the people to do their part and helping things move forward as well.
Absolutely.
Whether that's policies, whether that's laws, whether that's impacting the community, in the form of social activism, food, clothing, shelter, even building an economy. Like there's so many things that people can do. So no, don't put your faith in all politicians because you're giving them too much power. Like they have power, but there's only so much they can do is limited. So people just have to know that. That's the only thing. But yeah, my hats off to her. Congrats,
Excuse me.
doing something real big in history for Salt Lake County in Utah and representing Women's History Month in a big way. So literally, hats off.
Jenny Wilson, way to go. Absolutely.
Anything else we'd like to add to this story?
I mean, again, it's just reiterating, like, I love that in general, globally, that women are stepping up. They're stepping up because a lot of times this world or politics or whatever is dominated by men, and it's not about male bashing, but I'm glad that women are stepping up and they're speaking up and they're saying, guess what, we can do it just as well, if not better, than men. And that's just how I feel about that. But like you said, nonetheless, the Jenny Wilsons and the other individuals that we're going to be speaking about, hold them accountable to a certain degree, but also hold yourself accountable as well. If you want to see things moving, that means you have to step up. You can't just sit back and then get an attitude or get upset and complain and say, oh, she's not doing this, or he's not doing this. Well, I mean, you got to step up. You got to step up to the plate.
Yeah, what can you do?
Exactly. What can you offer? What can you give? Right. What part can you play to make a difference? So,
absolutely. I agree with you. All right. So the next person that we're going to discuss is Septima Clark. She's an older lady. Actually, she passed away in 1987. So, still going to talk about her anyway because she made such a great impact, not only to women's history but to Black history too. But since we're just talking about women's history, she definitely made an impact just for women's history and setting the bar as to what being a great woman is. So I want to read her story. This is coming from sncccdigital.org. So that's sncccdigital.org. And they have an article on her. They wrote about. Now, she was born May 3rd, 1898. And as I said again, she passed away December 15th, 1987. She was raised in Charleston, South Carolina. Septima Poinsett Clark pioneered the link between education and political organizing, especially political organizing aimed at gaining the right to vote. Literacy means liberation. She stressed knowing that education was key to gaining political, economic, and social power. Long before SNCC's Freedom Schools, Clark was developing a grassroots citizenship education program that used everyday materials to think about big questions, from reading catalogs to writing on dry cleaner bags instead of chalkboards. Clark not only found creative ways to teach literacy, but also help people become leaders. Don't ever think that everything went right. It didn't, she acknowledged. Many times there were failures, but we had to mule over those failures and work until we could get them ironed out. Clark was born in Charleston, South Carolina in 1898 to a mother who was fiercely proud and a father who was gentle and tolerant. Both recognized the importance of education, although they came from very different life experiences. Clark's father was formerly enslaved on the Poinsett plantation and would tell Clark about how, as a child, he would take his master's children to school and wait outside while they were in class. Her mother was raised in Haiti and was taught how to read and write at a young age. When they saw the conditions of Clark's grade school as compared to those that the white children of Charleston attended, they were enraged. And so they sent her to a woman who taught neighborhood children in her home across the street. Clark eventually went to attend the Avery Normal School in Charleston. Clark decided to become a teacher herself, seeing education as a tool to be put in the hands of the people to gain a better life. By 1916, Clark had received a teaching license and got a job on Johns Island off the coast of South Carolina. Blacks were not permitted to teach in public schools in Charleston. Looking for ways to pass the time in the evening, Clark began teaching adult literacy on the island after school. She would have her students write stories about their daily lives and think critically about the world around them. A few years later, Clark had a conversation with someone about the NAACP and joined, spurring her to move back to Charleston and take part in a successful campaign to change the policy that prevented Black teachers from working in public schools. For a time after, she lived in Columbia, South Carolina, and worked at Booker T. Washington High School before returning to her hometown to care for her mother. She began teaching there, but she lost her teaching position in 1956 because of her affiliation with the NAACP. Clark then became the director of workshops at the Highlander Folk School founded by Miles Horton, which she had first visited in 1954. While at Highlander, Clark stayed connected to her teaching roots, developing the citizenship school curriculum she had begun developing on Johns Island. She encouraged one of her former students, Esau Jenkins, to start coming to workshops at Highlander. Jenkins had become a respected leader on Johns Island and had even run for the school board. Although the Black community largely supported him, so few Blacks would register to vote on Johns Island that Jenkins was defeated. Taking what he had learned from Highlander, Jenkins decided to take matters into his own hands and began a literacy effort on the bus he used to take tobacco workers and longhornmen to Charleston. With a seed grant from Highlander, Jenkins took this rolling school to the back of a grocery store on the island, which hid the school from the white community's gaze. By 1961, 37 citizenship schools had been established on the Sea Islands and nearby mainland. These students went on to start a low-income housing project, credit union, nursing home, and more within their communities.
Mm.
Clark believed the power of literacy and nonviolent resistance, and she was interested in the work of the young activists, like her good friend Ella Baker, which we just talked about her like a couple of weeks ago. How ironic. Wow. Septima Clark bridged the gap between SNCC and an older generation in a way that few did, and her lifelong work in adult literacy and citizenship education helped pave the way of SNCC's organizing work, especially the Freedom Schools of Mississippi. Make sure that's not okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. They do have a picture down here about Highlander reports. It's a picture. It's just the cover, and I believe there's some audio. It's an interview with Septima Clark. Okay, this was 1973, and they have another one that was with her that came out in 1976. All right, so I advise you to check these out. Again, this is coming from snccdigital.org. I will try to get all this stuff posted as fast as I can. So bear with us. But yes, that was awesome. I mean,
that is, because you can just, like, even though that was like many years before we were even thought of,
right?
With the research of that, you could still apply how awesome she was.
And bring to help her own community.
Right, to help her own community and bring that into the right now.
Right, and start a revolution of adult literacy and educating her own people and making sure, they know how to read, or they know how to write, or they know how to speak, or they know how to, enhance their mind and advance their career, their life, So, I mean, this is really powerful, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, she's done a lot of great work. I did have another article, but unfortunately I didn't post it. I didn't have it in my notes, but I'm gonna post that to the our Instagram. So just like I said, just bear with us. I'm kind of lagging behind on posting all the links, so forgive me. But I thought that was also interesting because it went more in depth of other works and contributions that she made to, being an activist and just really impacting adult literacy education.
Do you know where that's at?
I would have to look it up though.
Oh.
You want to look it up now as we
Sure. Sure. Why not? We kind of, impromptu. For everyone that has followed us from day one, there are days where we are on point, and then there's days where we're not so on point, and it's still all good either way. But we know how to freestyle. Right. But speaking about literacy, which is so important, right, for everyone, because it's nothing like being an adult who don't know how to read. And that's not being disrespectful. That is just so real and honest. Okay? Because once upon a time, I did not know how to read. I've said it before, okay? They didn't say that you were special need when I was growing up, or, I don't remember them saying special need. You was just either slow or you were retarded, right? Mm-hmm. So they throw you in these classes that were considered special need, and I didn't know how to read or write. Hell, I even had problems with walking, like my feet went in, just had some issues going on briefly. But with the help of some really good teachers that I did have, like Miss Green and Miss Robertson and Miss Swift, okay, they were 3 Black women. They were really firm and stern about things, okay. Miss Green was in my family. Miss Robertson, she probably was my favorite of all favorites growing up. And then we had Miss Swift, who definitely would get with you if you were wrong. She never physically spanked me, but she got you with that. If you remember the ruler, hitting your hand with the ruler if you did something wrong, right? Back in the day, families and communities, like, they cared about each other. So if you was a disrespectful child, not only did you get that spanking from your neighbor, you then came in and probably got it from, if not both parents, one of your parents. Okay, so people did care back then. And I remember Miss Fisher, who was like my 5th grade. So she wasn't Black, she was white, but I respect her as well. Like, I had pretty decent teachers when I was going through elementary up to high school. So literacy is very important, because you can't go through your life, and I know a lot of people have, male or female, you should not go through life having somebody else read for you, or you not knowing how to read or write. You're just kind of getting by. And a lot of guys tend to find these girls, and these girls fall for it, and or they do it, right? And they help them through school, or help them just in life fill out certain things. You should be that grown man or that grown woman and learn how to read and write, so that you can learn how to fill out a job application, or go online and fill out a job application. Hell, open up a savings or credit account. Just learn how to write. That's so important. Literacy, as well as financial literacy. Like, it's very important. You should not just want to just go through life just kind of breezing through it, or always asking somebody, well, can you, like, do this or do that for me? Like, it's very important. We have to start young. So moving forward into today, we should definitely educate our youth, our children, on different things. I would love to see our children just be more than what's going on now. Just continue to be entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
At a young age.
Be the greatest you can be.
Absolutely.
There's no limit, man. Go as far as you can go. You
Absolutely.
are excellent. You are the greatest. You are awesome. So exemplify it.
Mm-hmm.
You have confidence in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And keep on moving. Tunnel vision till you get to your goal.
Right.
Never let no one stop you. Period.
Right. Never let anybody stop you. Never let anybody put you down. Especially that's the one thing. If you don't know how to read or write, people can be very mean and rude and ignorant towards you.
Right. Pretty
So
much.
educate yourself. There's free programs out here, or affordable at least, but I believe a lot of them are free. There should not be one person that does not know how to read or write.
It honestly, it's really no excuse at this point. I mean, how technology is so advanced is really so much information that you have access to. Like, it's fast access to information, and it's fast, access to tools that can help you to read and even write. And
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't see how people don't know. Like, it's just crazy to me, you know. But people are so focused on other things that they take away from themselves and not realizing what's really important.
They know the rap song. They know the rap
They
lyrics.
don't know every lyric to the song, the hook, and everything. They can do the dance, but they don't know
but don't know how to read.
They can't complete a sentence, let alone know how to read.
And sadly, I've had enough people come to me and ask me how to even, what does that say, or how to read the train or bus schedules. I mean, I don't insult them and put them down. I do help them, and I assist them with that, but I also have tried to assist, like, listen, here's some information that, you have to make that first step, because you can talk to people all day, but if they don't want to make that first step, that is on them. How sad that is, to go through your whole adult life and don't know how to read or write. That's just real. That's real sad. That's like real messed up to me. But people are settled into who they are. So if that's how you want to live, that's you. But there's so much information out here. Why would you not want to do that?
Right. But again, people are not focused on that because they're so
Right.
focused on other things that they can't focus on themselves.
Right.
Because they're so attached to this world, everything else around them, and they lose sight of who they are. So,
yeah.
And what they need to do. So that's what you gotta definitely look at. Everybody's so consumed in everything else. And that's why self-care is important. We always preach about self-care.
We always speak about it.
It's important.
Always. It absolutely is. You're right.
That's what it comes down to. But I do have I'm actually gonna take bits and pieces from both articles because they have some key things that is gonna add to what I spoke about for our Septima Clark that I think was really great and monumental. Okay, so saferoad.org, and I'm switching from that to what's this other one here? Okay, really? Really, Taya? All right, biography.com. All right, so I'm gonna read from Safe Row, not ROW, but just RO, saferoad.org. The key things that I'm going to say.
And you're still speaking about, for those who may be...
Septima Clark, yes,
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, she's so cute. She calls me yes, ma'am. I love it. Go ahead. We just had our little cute moment. Go ahead. Just don't worry about us.
The Citizen School Movement trained more than 10,000 community leaders from 1957 to 1970 through nearly 1,000 grassroots independent schools that operated at one time or another in every county in South Carolina, nearly 90 counties in Georgia, and all, George.
All right, Georgia.
And in all of the heavily black areas of the rest of the Deep South. At one point in 1964, almost 200 schools operated simultaneously. Former Atlanta Mayor Andrew Young, who served as Septima's supervisor as SCLC, said that The citizen schools were the foundation of the civil rights movement, as much responsible for transforming the South as anything. Well, transforming the South as anything anybody did. Let's see. I want to. Okay. I want to see if there's any other key things in here. All right. Okay, so I'll read this part. Septima, her work was brought into contact with Dorothy Cotton, now director of student affairs at Cornell University, who taught in the citizen schools and served as a fellow staff member with Septima as SCLC. Cotton said that Septima had the effect of changing people's lives from the instant they first met her. So I'll give a little story about their encounter. The first time Septima saw me, she sat down to drink a cup of tea with me. She wanted to know who I was, where I was from. At the time, I was just an unknown, somebody who was attending one of her workshops, but just by talking, she made me feel important. She did that with everybody she met, and she met thousands of people during the movement. Khan said one of her strongest memories of September was someone who had great patience with people of the various towns and rural areas who were being. I was almost ready to close out a workshop at Highlander one time when an elderly man got up to leave. I tried to stop him because I wanted everyone to hear everything that I had to talk about. But he instead, and finally he just ignored me and left. Afterwards, Septima gave me a little lecture which she entitled, "When you got to go, you got to go." That's when I found out the man had to use the bathroom and just couldn't wait. Cotton laughed. Sometimes we get caught up in what we're doing, but September never lost sight of the fact that people had everyday human needs that to be satisfied, even in the midst of these great changes that were taking place. The patience was learned from Septima's father, so that's where she got her patience from. Let's see, anything else that was okay. Here's another part. You want to say names before I get into the piece?
Oh, well.
Shout outs.
Okay, shout out to Jamie Martinez.
Hey, Jamie Martinez.
Hello.
What's
How
up?
are you? Thank you. We are well. We hope that you are well. Also, look forward to you doing more listening and tuning in. Let me just say, real sidebar, real quick, shameless plug. Jamie Martinez has beautiful jewelry pieces with paparazzi. Make sure that you reach out to him for all of your jewelry needs. He has some really beautiful pieces. Jamie, if you would please put your information about paparazzi in there. Also, Jamie has written 2 books, which I have both. He has been a former guest of ours on Chit Chat Chew Show. He has some awesome books. Jamie, if you don't mind again, you can put your information in our link about your books as well as your link for paparazzi people. Watch out for him.
I might have to get your book though, Jamie. I'm going to go ahead and cop me one.
He has both those books. You gotta purchase both books. You gotta read
both.
You have to read one to get to that too. So make sure that you purchase both.
2. I have to get both.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So another of Septima's students was Bernice Johnson Reagan, then a leader of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, now a curator with the Smithsonian Institute, and founder of and singer with the groundbreaking Sweet Honey in the Rock. Reagan attended the first sponsored citizenship school and taught in the program for 10 years. She recalled that Septima had a deep and powerful influence on the students activists who flooded the South during the civil rights years. Many of them had dropped out of college in open defiance of their parents, who were suddenly thrust into violent, life-threatening situations. Let's see here. Anything else? Okay. Another time, Septima described a South Carolina workshop where Andrew Young and Dorothy Cotton led a group in the movement standard, "We Shall Overcome." While Young and Cotton closed their eyes and rocked with the spirit of the song, Septima noticed a young woman in the back of the room, trembling and crying and refusing to join in. The woman later explained that she'd been jailed and tortured with cattle prods during a Georgia demonstration and couldn't bring herself to sing the stance, "I love everybody." I told Andy and Dorothy, "You can't sing with your eyes closed. You got to open your eyes and see what's happening to these people." Andy and I had some words about that, but he learned and he grew. Young came quickly to love Septima for her forthrightness, but many of SCLC's other ministers resented her informal lectures. They gave her the title of SCLC's Mother Conscious and later Queen Mother of the movement, but they allowed her no power. Reverend Ralph Abernathy, second in command during the King years, tried to keep Septima out of SCLC's executive committee meetings, and SCLC's prolific publicity machine rarely gave the citizenship school work its proper credit. Cotton recalls the snickering she received from the ministers when she told a staff meeting that the citizenship schools were SCLC's most important program. Many of the preachers who made up SCLC's ruling courts were used to women taking a backseat in their churches and in their homes, and it did not look lightly on a woman taking a leadership role in their organization. They refused to give Septima the recognition she deserved. Septima later wrote that the men of SCLC's executive staff didn't listen to me too well. They liked to send me into many places because I could always make a path into getting people to listen to what I had to say. But those men didn't have any faith in women. None whatsoever. They just thought that women were sex symbols that had no contribution to make. Typical of a man. Anyway, in her last years, she became an active feminist and came to understand that she and other movement women have been the victims of sexism. If you don't watch the movie From Montgomery to Memphis, you notice that they don't mention one woman going through there. That's actually true. If you think, even, I don't care if it's just a movie, a documentary, a special, you don't hear them talk about the women of these civil rights movements. You always hear about the men.
Hear about the men. That's true.
But a lot of the women in the background made large contributions to the civil rights movement too, not just men.
Absolutely, they did. I actually I should have put them in there because there was two women that I
we could talk about researched. Them next week.
Absolutely, that I had researched that had to do with the whole civil rights movement, and they're not mentioned because I've never heard of them. Wow. That's why I love research. That's why there's no reason to not read or write and research like that. Research, read, and write. The information is just exactly. It's too much information.
Right.
Not to.
So the movie From Montgomery to Memphis, right? So say they don't mention one woman going, through there. So not one. You almost never see that role put down in any other reports about the movement. You just get Dr. So-and-so from Alabama State College did such and such. She called sexism one of the weaknesses of the civil rights movement. Okay, so long after the decline of the movement after King's assassination, Septima continued organizing daycare centers for low-income mothers, speaking and writing on behalf of women's rights, crisscrossing the country to share her great knowledge and deep social concerns with anyone who would listen. In the end, the flame that fueled her passion for human rights and equality of justice never dimmed or wavered. One day, it simply went out. She passed away, of course, December of 1987 at the age of 89. Wow. She lived a long time. Okay.
Born back in those. When?
She was born in she was born in
18, like 58 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Woo. That's history. Are you kidding me? That's something that a lot of times you can't find that in no books.
Nah.
You have to record that or write that down, and you have to put that in a place where you will not lose it. Or
a safe place.
A safe place, because that is classic, iconic. Like seriously.
Yeah.
You can't get that from a book.
No, not no book. She left a long strike of honors and accomplishments, several honorary degrees, a major book on the Martin Luther King Jr. era dedicated to her, Parting the Waters by Taylor Branch, and 2 autobiographies of our own, Echo in My Soul, now out of print, and I'm sure that's expensive because it's hard to get, and Ready from Within, Wild Tree Press. recipient of the Presidential Living Legacy Award, a Septima Clark Expressway, and a Septima Clark Daycare Center in her native Charleston. In the great irony of her life, she ended up serving 2 terms on the same Charleston County School Board that had once fired her. Ain't there some come back full circle? Karma can go either way. And there's one more I want to read. Is give tidbits here. I thought that was key and important. Let's see. Okay. So in her early activism, and also when she was teaching, so Clark returned to Charleston to teach at the Avery Institute. She also joined with the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, of course. She hired African American teachers. She gathered signatures in favor of the change, and she ensured everything was successful. She married Neri Clark in 1920. Her husband died of kidney failure 5 years later. She then moved to Columbia, South Carolina, where she continued teaching and also joined the local chapter of the NAACP. Clark worked with the organization and with Thurgood Marshall on a 1945 case that sought equal pay for black and white teachers. She described it as her first effort in a social action challenging the status quo. Her salary increased threefold when the case was won.
That's awesome.
The creator's good.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Okay. Going back to Charleston, 1947, Clark took up another teaching post while maintaining her NAACP membership. However, in 1956, South Carolina made it illegal for public employees to belong to civil rights groups. Clark refused to renounce the NAACP, and of course, she did lose her job. That was stated a couple of times within 3 articles. Let's see. Oh, okay. All right. Here's one. Of course, you know she was hired by Tennessee's Highlander Folk School, an institution that supported integration in the civil rights movement. She had previously participated in and led workshops there during breaks from school. Rosa Parks had attended one of her workshops in 1955.
Wow.
I mean, they all connected. Like, it's a small world, man. Let's see what we got here. What else? Okay. Anything else? All right. I don't think I read this part. She received the Order of the Palmetto, South Carolina's highest civilian honor in 1982. What else? Yeah, and that's pretty much it. The last part I do want to read, which I think will close this out very well. Over her long career of teaching and civil rights activism, she helped many African Americans begin to take control of their lives and discover their full rights as citizens.
How cool is that?
I mean, she did so much.
She did a whole lot.
She did so much for our people, man, and definitely for Black women. She's the queen of the civil rights movement.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or Ella Baker and Rosa Parks and any other, she set the tone. I'm saying, as far as being a Black woman, a woman to be involved in civil rights and making a change and changing people's lives and making sure things are successful, where, you know, not only Blacks can gain control of their lives, but making sure our people have full rights as citizens in the country we live in. So she definitely was groundbreaking.
Well, first, before I say something, let me say thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate you
for joining in.
Thank you.
I just want to say for everyone that I invited to come into this show, and for even those that will hear this replay when we're done, I would like for you to take the time to mention one person, one woman, whether she is present or she has transitioned
Doesn't matter.
that made an impact in your life, whether it was a family member or just some, some other individual
Whoever
out
you were
here,
influenced by.
whoever you were influenced by,
Put it in the comment box.
leave it in our comment box.
You never know. We probably just go ahead and talk about it.
And talk about it. Absolutely.
It's kind of like you really throwing a topic out there.
Yeah, throw that out there. Whoever influenced you in your life,
that would be dope.
Growing up or presently.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, they could be present, meaning alive, or they could be someone who has transitioned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That could definitely be someone who we can pay homage and respect to. Okay. And for those who are just tuning in, we are the co-hosts of Chit Chat Chew Show, which is every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm one of the co-hosts, Jade, and the other co-host,
Uno,
yes,
of the Chit Chat Chew Show podcast.
Absolutely. So we want to, as much as we bring a lot of controversial issues because it's real and it's out here, we also like to, give respect and homage and talk about also positive things. You have to have, as it may be uncomfortable for a lot of people to deal with or even want to, just even hear it or speak about it, but it's present and it's real. So we like to come with balance. And again, I thank each and every one of you who has consider joining us. If you do have a business out here and you want to put it in our comment box, by all means, leave your information in here. We're all about positive, supporting people, as we want that back, so just do that. Just definitely do that. And I really never heard of the lady who you spoke about. Got to be honest. Never heard of that lady.
I've heard her name. I just didn't know too much about her. But I've heard about her.
I'm going to be honest and say I've never heard her name, never knew about her, but just that little bit.
Jenny Wilson I never heard of.
Right. And I never heard about her either. And I'm always led through research to find out different things and to read up on people because it's very important. Yes, I believe there are things that are black and white. I'm gonna just be honest. But then there's things that are global that we can talk about. So I just like diversity, and I like a mixture, and I like being comfortable, and I like being uncomfortable. Okay, so that's who I am. So yeah, just do that. Leave that information.
Please do.
People who you admired or who were influences.
That'd be dope.
And absolutely. Excuse me, because I feel like I keep putting my hand up because I feel like I'm going to sneeze. That's why.
But we'll love your feedback, though.
Absolutely would love the feedback. Put it in there. I would be. So that's really good. Yes. I mean, just her being born back in the 1858 or 1857, knowing that she was one of those
female pioneers, man.
Female pioneers who started paving that way for us today. Let's not get caught up in did she vote or did she not vote?
Who cares?
That doesn't matter. The fact that she started this and she was very passionate about 1898. Oh my goodness, 1898. The fact that back then she was very passionate about helping her Black and brown brothers and sisters with learning how to read. I mean, if that doesn't set the pace for now in 2019, like there shouldn't be any excuses for people not knowing how to read and write.
And they had less to work with.
And they had exactly.
That's the crazy part. Like, so what is people?
Can you imagine from back then? I mean, she was born 1898
into the early 1900s.
Right.
Like, seriously?
The information that we have now,
what is your excuse?
She's one of those ones that paved the way to get us to where we're at now, to get those
especially
free
for black and
grants
brown
or affordable information training. I mean, that's awesome.
Can't get no better than that, man.
Cannot.
I'm so inspired. I mean,
yes.
I'm proud. Like this is what you call a strong black woman.
And what's say her name again?
Septima Clark.
Septima
Clark. Well,
what's that middle name?
Poinsett.
Septima Poinsett Clark.
Yes, ma'am.
And then also I spoke earlier about Jenny Wilson,
Right.
who is the first European or white mayor for Salt Lake City, Utah.
Just give y'all the update. I'm gonna
Yes.
actually redo this caption because apparently it didn't appear when I hit live.
Right,
So
it's having
apologize.
special moments, but
Right.
it's all good. It's having special moments.
Yeah.
That's what technology does. It's a
Yeah.
wonderful thing, but it's a pain too.
Yes. Shaking my head.
Right. Do you have more?
No,
before I
that's
start?
it.
Okay.
That's a wrap.
Okay. So our next topic for Women's International Month. Let me not say awareness, but yeah, awareness, because a lot of us are not aware of it. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah.
But yeah, for the sake, Women's Month.
For Women's International Month,
Right.
we're making ourselves aware of who these ladies are.
Mm-hmm.
So this is coming from medium.com. Okay. This is about 5 Latino women for Women's History Month. This is some of my folks. 5 Latino women for Women's History Month. So, as March comes to an end, and it is coming quickly, see how time doesn't wait on anyone?
Nope.
We're almost in April. So as March comes to an end, I wanted to take the opportunity to introduce you to 5 Latino women that this person admires, whom you might not have heard of before. March has been designated as the month where we celebrate women in history. It is no surprise that many women in history have been undervalued. But thankfully, that has started to change. This person is a Latin person, and she thought it would be a great opportunity to talk about some strong and inspiring Latin women. Hoorah for her.
Right.
The first one would be Rita Moreno. 86 years old, from Puerto Rico. I was recently introduced to a Netflix show called One Day at a Time that stars Rita Moreno. Thank you, Susanna Boto, for sharing this amazing show. Okay, it's called One Day at a Time. So if you have Netflix, you might want to check that out.
One day at a time.
This show follows a Cuban American family as they face the ups and downs of life. It deals with so many modern day issues that a lot of people, and especially a lot of Latin families, would rather not talk about. It's no question that the star of the show is Rita Moreno. Watching the show, you would not guess that Rita's career has spanned over 70 years. She is lively and funny throughout, but also understanding and loving. Rita Moreno is a singer, dancer, actress, and she was also on Broadway. She is most notably known for playing Anita in the film adaptation West Side Story, and even won the Best Supporting Actress Oscar for it. She was also in the film The King and I, playing the role of Tupton. Rita is the only Latino with an EGOT, which is an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. She better work that. And I think that's very badass. She is an inspiration for all Latinos or Latinas. I would recommend you watch her in One Day at a Time. So make sure you have Netflix.
For the Latinas.
For the Latinas. Watch her in One Day at a time.
You gotta say host right now.
I know, and my favorite person that was on here, Jamie Martinez, I love when he's watching Real Housewives of Atlanta because he sets the pace with make sure that you come with your mojitos and your majitas. I love it. Okay, so the next person that we have is Selena Quintilla. How do you pronounce it?
The Selena.
The Selena.
Yes, the Selena.
That Selena.
Yes, that Selena.
Okay, but her last name is pronounced
Quintanilla.
Quintanilla.
Yep.
Selena Quintanilla.
I love how the Latin words just flow like that. It's sexy.
Yes,
they have sexy words.
They have sexy words, exactly. Yes. So she died at the age of 23. Mexican roots.
Before J-Lo.
Before J-Lo,
all
honey.
natural beauty.
All natural. Yes, yes, yes. So I have written about Selena before, but since she is an amazing woman and her death anniversary is on March 31st, I thought it would be a perfect time to bring her up again. Absolutely.
Yes.
Selena was murdered by her former fan club manager, but 23 years later, Selena is still remembered and celebrated as much as ever. She was responsible for bringing more attention to Latin and Tejano music, known as the Queen of Tejano. She released 11 albums, won 1 Grammy, 14 Billboard Latin Music Awards, and a lot more awards and nominations. She was a fashion icon. Yes, she was. She had her own unique style.
Yes, she did.
And even had her own boutique. She was active in her community. And I can only imagine how much of an activist she would have been if she still was alive today.
I could bet she'd be super deep in her roots. Man.
Yes, I don't know. She would definitely give J-Lo a run for her money.
J-Lo wouldn't even spoke up. I mean,
right.
I mean,
right.
You know,
Selena definitely paved that way for her.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's respectful.
So these last few years, Selena's memories have been kept alive thanks to MAC makeup release, her own Hollywood Walk of Fame star, and a wax figure. Celebrities such as Selena Gomez and Kim Kardashian have also been known to keep Selena in the spotlight. Yet for me, it almost seems like some people treat her name more as a brand or a trend, and that makes me mad.
And when you throw Kardashian in, you already know.
Why would you throw Kim Kardashian? Really? Okay, my face looked really ugly doing that, but I don't care.
Why would she even post that?
Right.
You just clout chasing. Please stop. You stop. Please.
I will give them the benefit of the doubt because Selena should be celebrated and everyone can benefit from knowing who she was and how she kept impacting Latina girls and women. There is a link to this. So when you look at this, you can hit that link. So someone is on right now. Please let us know what city and state you're from. Oh, you popped off. That's okay. So it is a link.
Thank you anyway.
Thank you anyway. Here's the link to the article I wrote about Selena last year if you would like to read more about her life. So absolutely, I think that's something. Okay. Is it Debris? Is it Deborah or Deborah that you're going by? Because that can be pronounced 2 different ways.
That's absolutely true. Because my sister's name is Deborah, so that's why Jade asked that too. Because it can be pronounced
2 different ways. Is it Debbie, Deborah, or Deborah? Anyway, I'm the one who invited you, so I do know who you are. Hello, it's been a long time. Hope you're well. Hope you join us back again. Let us know the city and state you're calling from. Also, I know that you did have a business, so if you're still on here and you would like to put your link in the comment box, because we're all about positive support, please make sure that you do that.
Please, please. Thank you.
Let's see. Who else do I have here? Okay. The next one is Julia Alvarez. Julia Alvarez, 67 years old, Dominican. All right, 67 years old, Dominican. So, one of my favorite authors, and she wrote one of my favorite books ever. Julia Alvarez is a Dominican American novelist and poet. She has had a very successful career and is a very highly regarded Latina writer. Her first book to get national acclaim was How the Garcia Girls Lost Their Accents. That book again is called How the Garcia Girls Lost Their Accents. This book hit close to home because it deals with being a Latin immigrant growing up in the United States. Although I love her first book, my absolute favorite one is her second one, which is called In the Time of the Butterflies. In the Time of the Butterflies. This book is a historical fiction book that details the death of the Marable sisters in the Dominican Republic during the dictatorship of Trujillo. I first read this book in high school and have always gone back to it and recommend it to everyone I possibly can. Julia Alvarez paved the way for more Latina and Latino authors. Okay, her name is Julie Alvarez. The next would be Sonia or Sonia
Sotomayor, just like the
Sotomayor.
Sotomayor.
63 years old, Puerto Rican. Sonia Sotomayor was the third female Supreme Court justice and the first Latina. Got a snap
All
for
right.
that. Being the first Latina to be on the Supreme Court is something to celebrate and be extremely proud of. Absolutely. She did not have an easy life growing up. She had many challenges to overcome to get where she is today. She is an inspiration for young Latina girls. They can see that someone like them reached the highest court in the United States and know that it's possible for them to reach their own dreams. Absolutely, absolutely. Sonia Sotomayor. The next is Soledad O'Brien. Soledad
Oh yeah,
O'Brien.
I know who that is.
51 years old, Cuban.
All right.
Yes. Full disclosure on this one. I probably would not have known who Soledad O'Brien was if she didn't share my name. Growing up with the name Soledad has been a roller coaster of having people compliment me for it or mispronounce my name and make me feel terrible. So when I heard that a CNN broadcaster was named Soledad, I had to know more about her. This was many years ago. Back in 2007, she was with CNN. At that time, she was the only other person named Soledad I had ever heard of. So, of course, I was super interested in her. Yet, all these years later, I have not been disappointed in the woman she is. She is inspiring to all the Latina women and girls who aspire to be journalists. She is one of the top journalists fighting for social change. She has even won an Emmy. Recently, she started her own media production company. It's called Starfish Media Group.
That's dope.
That is so awesome.
That's
and
really
her
dope.
name again is Soledad
And
O'Brien.
y'all have seen her.
You
Because
have
I've seen her
definitely
many
seen her.
times.
Okay, so that was so inspiring to just speak on 5 different Latina women who makes history. That's why I say it's so many women, awesome women out here from different ethnic backgrounds or cultures, ages, shapes, sizes, gender. Like,
Absolutely.
it's so awesome
We
to
should do
know
a music
this.
edition too.
Hmm.
Oh, like Women's History Month. I think that'd be dope.
Absolutely,
So
it
let's
would
do that
be. We can.
before
So
March leave out of here.
before March leaves out. So I want to thank Destiny, who also was on our show, Destiny
Thank
Robbins,
you.
and Bakari Bernard.
Thank you.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
SGI, brother. Nam Yoho Rinke Ko. Nam Yoho Rinke Kyo, excuse me, to you too. Bodhisattvas. Yes, everybody has a variety of different people. So again, if you're just tuning in, we are speaking about Women's International Month.
We're just honoring great women.
Great women
Yeah.
of all backgrounds. If you have someone who you look up to or who inspired or influenced you, definitely leave it in our comment box. We can talk about them as well.
If you would like.
If you would like.
Just let us know.
Just let us know. And also, if you have a business, we do positive support here. So leave your business contact information in our box below.
Absolutely. The last and final honorees that I'm speaking on tonight will be about Native American women. Okay.
Also a part of us, Native American. Yeah, definitely.
All right. And we celebrate them for Women's History Month. Okay. This is coming from newsmaven.io. The first woman we have is Wilma Mankiller. Wilma Mankiller was the first woman principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. She served 12 years as deputy and principal chief, started in 1983 and retired in 1995 due to health reasons. She transformed the nation-to-nation status between the Cherokee Nation and the federal government, won the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1998, and was a role model to aspiring young Native women. The 2013 film, The Cherokee Word for Water, is a popular movie depicting early community work that led to her rising political career. She walked on in 2010. Thanks for all the love and the likes. Thank you. Appreciate you. Had to cut that off real quick so I can, show you love and shout out whoever that was. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for all the hearts. Thank you. The second person we're going to talk about is LaDonna Harris. Harris is a Comanche activist, community organizer, political leader, founder of Americans for Indian Opportunity and the American Indian Ambassadors Program. She was married to Fred Harris, a rising star in the Democratic Party, in the Democrat Party, and she became a media star in Washington, running as a vice presidential candidate in 1980 and on the Citizens Party ticket. She fought extensively the civil rights for Native American tribes, and her legacy was made into a documentary, LaDonna Harris, Indian One-on-One. The third woman is Rigoberta Menchú Tum. As a young indigenous woman who grew up in the Quiche branch of the Mayan culture, she was involved in social work through the Catholic Church in Guatemala. Her family members were killed by security forces, and she joined the committee of the Peasant Union. She worked internationally to help her Mayan people resist the military oppression and support indigenous people's rights during the brutal Civil War, having fled in 1981. Many books and films have been made documenting these struggles between 1983 and 1999. She won a Nobel Peace Prize in 1992. The fourth woman is Ellen Gabrielle. As the spokesperson for the Kanisate Mohawks during the Oka crisis in Quebec in 1990, Gabrielle gained international recognition when the Mohawk people took over disputed lands that had been claimed for 120 years. The move triggered a standoff between 2,500 Canadian troops and the remaining Mohawk warriors. Gabrielle traveled internationally to drum up support for the Aka Mohawks and spoke at UN events about indigenous peoples' issues and human rights. In 2009, she ran for national chief of the Assembly of First Nations but lost in a disputed election. She is an artist and teaches at Concordia University. See? A member of the Sac and Fox Nation and daughter of Jim Thorpe, she was a World War II veteran, tribal district court judge, and went to Antioch Law School. Grace had been an activist since Alcatraz and won a 1999 Nuclear Free Future Award for organizing 30 tribes on 70 reservations to resist the U.S. government efforts to store toxic and nuclear waste on Indian lands. She walked on in 2008.
Mm.
This is really dope. That was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Stay within their roots and their culture, and they always put their people first, and they always fought for the human rights of the tribes. And that's how it should always be. And these women, again, even these women did great things for the community, just that people in general, and keeping the indigenous legacy alive. On my only downside, I gotta keep it real because it is what it is. Because you can't have this without nothing else. I just need, for Women's History Month, I'm gonna need people to highlight the Black indigenous women. Okay, I'm talking about brown as me or darker than me. All right. I mean, I ain't taking nothing away from the lighter skinned women. Okay, don't get me wrong. But when you talk indigenous, you can't get indigenous without speaking about the melanated people. Mm-hmm. There was the first, native, no, Aborigine, okay? They're the first tribes of Americas, all right? So it just be, I might need to go ahead and talk about this for the month. Throw it in somewhere for the month of Women's History, okay? So yeah, I definitely would like to see more, melanated stories come out through the media than all this, talking about Native American, and you only see lighter complected women. Okay, I feel like it should be fair across the board is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm just keeping it real tonight. I mean, people can take offense. I don't really care. But the fact of the matter is, we know where indigenous roots from. We know what indigenous really means. And you can't talk about indigenous without giving respect and honor to those who came before them. Got to give it to the goddess of the civilization. You got to give it to the god of the civilization. We know the melanated people was here first. We know they was the first indigenous. We know they are the tribes. We are the tribes. Okay, so I just want to put that out there. I'm not trying to offend anyone, but I had to tell the truth. I couldn't even be quiet about it.
Okay.
But great.
We know you always have to say something, but okay.
Is that a problem?
Of course not.
Oh, okay.
Of course not.
But like I said, however, these women did great things. They're definitely warriors in their own way. And like I said, hey, my hat's off to them. I still get their respect of doing what they need to do for their people. Anything you would like to add, Smarty Pants?
Just having fun with it. I mean,
yeah. 2 cents.
Mm-hmm. I know. I have to add my 2 cents. It wouldn't be me. But yeah, you're absolutely right. There are definitely more presence. We should have more presence. And I'm going to dig deeper because I actually found that article. But that definitely, I would love to dig deeper because it's not just them. It starts with us. They're included in it.
Yeah, I mean,
they're included in it.
I mean, down the generations, yeah.
But it definitely has. It definitely starts with indigenous and the melanated and all that. Because
why they don't talk about that? Why they cover it up?
It's always covered up. That is true. I
You
have
know,
to
on the
start doing
reservations,
some digging deeper for
they
that
kicked a
too.
lot of the indigenous. I'm talking about the melanated people off the reservations. That says a lot in itself.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, what do you see on the reservations? Do you see any melanated people?
No.
Just gotta be honest.
No.
It's like that by design. You know, that's what I'm saying. Because they don't want us to have any kind of rights, any kind of benefit, anything.
Well, we just definitely have to dig deeper and bring that up and add and put that in addition to that as well. My definite respect and hat to go off to these ladies, these Native Americans, these Native Americans as well. So we have a charge to do more and highlight and bring other people, tribes, individuals to light as well, to continue to educate not only ourselves or myself, but to educate you guys as well.
Absolutely. I agree.
So thank you guys. If you didn't catch the full show, make sure that you share it, share our show, listen to the replay so you can get all the information. Share. That's what that's our goal, to put this out here, do positive support, because negativity is thrown out the window. And let's be in positive support of each other. So we thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to ask that if you have not, excuse me, already, I don't know what this is. I guess the thought. I guess it's trying for me not to speak, but not gonna happen.
Keep on speaking.
We invite you to come out and join our pages. So if you, of course, you are on Facebook, please like our Facebook page, which is Chit Chat Chew Show, LLC. Again, that's our Facebook page, Chit Chat Chew Show, LLC. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Also join our Facebook group, which is Chit Chat Chew Show Podcast group. Yeah. Chit Chat Chew Show Podcast group. You can join that, like our other page, Chit Chat Chew Show, LLC. Oh, my cute little shameless plug that I do. Also, come on over to Aisha Speaks Jade if you have not liked my page already. I share a lot of Chit Chat Chew information on my page. Also, my page is more of the speaking from personal experience in my healing and recovery, speaking about motivational things, inspirational things, just the overall well-being, and also business topics or conversations. So definitely join Aisha Speaks Jade page as well. You can go and like it. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Our LinkedIn, we have a LinkedIn page, which is Chit Chat Chew Show. So if you are on LinkedIn, there is a Chit Chat Chew Show LinkedIn page, as well as a Aisha Speaks Jade LinkedIn page.
Absolutely. So our social media, where you can find us, we are on Instagram. So go to at Chit Chat Chew Show Podcast. Make sure you like us on there. We do have a Twitter. So it's at CCCS_podcast. Once again, at CCCS_podcast. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Retweet about us, okay? Our show. Show us support. We thank you in advance. We do have a YouTube, which is Chit Chat Chew Show Podcast. Chit Chat Chew Show Podcast. Subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit the bell for notification to get updates about us and our show and what we got going on that involves the show. Make sure you like, make sure you leave comments, negative feedback, positive feedback, whatever feedback that you want to leave, that is fine with us. We thank you so much for that. And that sums it up.
Yeah, that sums it up.
Yeah.
It definitely do. Thank you. Make sure that you tune in again every Monday. If you can fit us in, we definitely appreciate you guys for fitting us in every Monday from 7, typically between the 7 to 9 p.m. Sometimes we get done earlier, as we are now.
Yeah.
Then there's other times we go to 9 and sometimes a little over 9
That's
p.m.
all right.
So, but in any event, definitely join us 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're in another time zone, just you know what to do, handle your business, and join us when it fits in with you. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. As always, we have some other exciting news that we're going to post up. We actually was in a cannabis magazine. I believe it's called Canna Health. We're going to post that up. It is a digital magazine. We had interviewed I want to say CEO, or she's definitely co-owner, founder of this digital magazine called Canna Health, which speaks about not only cannabis being beneficial to individuals, but I believe hemp as well. Okay, they're both a part of the plant. So we had the good fortune to be in February of 2019, the digital magazine. So we will be posting that up there. It speaks not only about our individual stories, but collectively how Chit Chat Chew Show has also been a part of that being created into implemented into that as well. So we're doing things slowly but surely, and that's okay. And we'll definitely put that up there for you guys to check it out and also be a part of it as far as subscribing. Okay, so we appreciate Brittany for that. Thank you. Make sure you always do your self-care. Please, people, do your self-care each and every day. I don't care if it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, half an hour, an hour. Do what's good for you, okay? Because you can only be your best self. You can be the best self you can be. Make sure to do that self-care, the self-love, the self-respect, knowing your worth and your value, being good to yourself, right?
Be good to yourself all the time.
All the time. All the time. Every day. 365 days out. 365.
Self-care is first.
Self-care is first. Thank you, guys.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Take care. Peace out.
Peace and blessings, everyone.